Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Yoruus speaking and welcome to the introduction summary video for multiplayer game number 57. In this short video I will introduce the game, players and settings, and next I will do a short summary of the game. So if you do not want to know how the game went and ended, please stop watching this video after the initial introduction and go to the second position of the playlist where the actual game starts. So this time I'm playing a free-for-all no quitters 6-player game. No quitters is a Steam group that gathers people who just want to play Civ without people quitting on them. You can find the link to the Steam profile on my main channel page in the About section. So just check the profile, read the rules, join the chat. Chat is public, and ask one of the moderators for an invite, or catch me on Steam, though I can answer with a bit of delay because I most of the time have my sound turned off. So this time we've got in this game Baron Big Boy, Twinsen, NQ Shumi 16, DJ Max, and NQ Fear This, and I don't remember exactly what civs are they playing. Or maybe I do. Yes, I do. DJ Max is playing Celts, NQ Shumi 16 is playing Arabia, Baron Big Boy is playing Sweden, NQ Fear This is playing Songhai, and Twinsen is playing Carthage, and I rolled Greece this time. Alright, so one more time, spoiler alert: if you do not want to know how the game went, please stop watching right now and go to the second position of the playlist where the actual game starts. My starting location, it was not looking good. I actually spent like 3 turns moving my capital to get at least a little tiny bit of hills in my capital. So generally, oh, did I actually forget about the settings? I did. The map is large islands. Large islands. So my little island definitely did not look cool. Quite a lot of space, quite a lot of jungle, but not too much production. So I basically moved my capital to get at least a little bit of hills. I missed the horses, but I think the trade-off was pretty decent. My capital was, well, basically could work. A lot of space on my island and a lot of jungle later on. So generally I think the change in the capital spot was pretty decent, and thanks to that I was actually able to plant at least 3 more cities on my large island. So I decided definitely to go this time with Tommy and T-Way, and he's telling me non-stop that Liberty Settler is just crucial for any victory type you want to approach, and I'm starting to more and more agree with him that Liberty Settler is a very nice opener as long as you are able to make a lot of cities later on. So generally I was really hoping this time to plant a lot of cities later on some small islands and stuff like that. So generally I went for Liberty Free Settler with a mind for a lot of cities later on in the game. So basically I was in, well, it doesn't matter on the naval map that much, but I was kind of in between geopolitically. My closest neighbor was Songhai, but we kind of agreed for a peace between us. On my east side, I had Shumi, and Shumi decided to go with inland capital inland capital and 2 coastal cities on his tiny little map, which probably wouldn't be that great idea, but Shumi is Arabia. Basically, with camel archers, he can kill frigates every single time. So he definitely counted on that, and he decided to go inland capital and 2 coastal cities without building navy again. So he was just scooting away crazy with science, building wonders and all that good stuff you can get when you don't have to care about ships in a naval map, basically. The other players I haven't met at this point of the game, but basically Sweden, Baron Big Boy was doing great hammer-wise, and I actually managed to plant 7 cities, and I was very happy with this. Yes, I was a little bit behind in science at this point of the game, but I was definitely trying to catch up as fast as possible and get to frigates, so I can at least defend my little, it's not that little, but at least defend my cities. So I was finally catching up science-wise. Now, Shumi was just going crazy as usual. When you allow him to have peace in the early game, he just rolls crazy. Now, Baron Big Boy was the leader in production, and he had a 2v1 war versus Twinsen, and NQ feared this. And I am a tiny little bit ashamed because I was a little bit misled by NQ fear this. Basically, they sounded like they were losing 2v1. Yeah, that's strange, right? How could you lose 2v1 with pretty nice production? Now, I actually believed that they were losing, and I gave NQ Fearless, I think, 4 frigates, though at the same time I was trying to help Sweden, but basically I think those 4 frigates tipped the scale later on, and that was probably a huge mistake on my part. Okay, so we came to a very problematic screenshot. Well, to the screenshot when the problems actually started, and I will stop at this screenshot and try to explain what did actually happen in my opinion. Well, first of all, Sweden was not able to defend 2v1, and basically I kind of helped defeat him. As I said, I gave NQ Fear this 4 frigates because I was kind of misled and afraid that they will not hold against him. I misjudged that. I tried to help Sweden just a little bit, gave him call, but he couldn't hold against so many ships. 2v1 basically. And another huge mistake I did make, well, basically talking about my overall strategy, I planted more cities. I planted 2 more cities, so I had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cities overall. I went all the factory science, so basically I had very nice production at this point of the game. I was catching up with science to Shumi. Basically, I just missed public schools in every of my cities. Then go for research labs, and I'll probably catch up to Shumi quite quickly. Hopefully, even surpass him. But what I did misjudge, as usual, my huge mistake is I didn't make enough army. Why I didn't make enough army? The simple answer is because I thought that Shumi is the larger threat from both. I mean, from me and Shumi. The bad thing was I was first at score, and that I don't know why. Well, why? basically the mistake is I kind of hope that NQ feared this and NQ Shumi actually thought, not NQ Shumi but Twinsen actually thought like me, and they would consider Shumi the larger threat, so we will all try to kill Shumi first and then fight in between each other. But they had absolutely other plans, and they decided to attack me with all those units that they built to kill Sweden. Now, the third mistake that I did make is actually, I didn't know, but submarines cannot shoot from a city. And basically, that allowed them to cause me a lot of trouble. Because I couldn't just, like fortify a submarine in a city and one-shot ships, because basically submarines one-shot frigates, right? So that was a huge mistake, because I was really hoping for submarine defense, and I should have probably made more frigates and privateers combined with submarines, but I only make submarines and not enough. Even as you can see on this screenshot, I was actually building Eiffel Tower at this point of the game, which probably didn't help me, because I was so confident that submarines can actually help me defend in here. Okay, so those are the three huge mistakes that I actually made to this point. And sadly, I overestimated those three things, and the outcome was definitely not looking good. Things were definitely not looking good. As I said before, I absolutely overestimated, well, the amount of ships they can actually have and the power of submarines, because they couldn't shoot from cities. So basically I lost 2 cities to 3 cities, basically, because Knossos will fall as well. So I lost 3 cities to NQ Fearless, to the team NQ Fearless and Twinsen, and on top of that, DJ decided to declare war on me as well. So I lost a city on the east. So overall I lost 4 cities, 4 very well developed cities. So I basically lost, and on top of that I couldn't go for plastics because I needed battleships badly, so I was losing gold later on, and so on and so forth. So basically from number 1, almost number 1, well, number 1 in hammers and almost number 1 in science, because I was finally catching up to Shumi, I basically fell down to a position where I couldn't do much. So basically at this stage of the game I was like, okay, Shumi won this game, because he basically had a lot of time, the crucial time when you get to research labs, and you kind of need those couple of buildings and a little bit time to build crucial buildings. So it's on a great way to Hubble telescope and getting XCOM and stealth bombers basically. So I knew I'm absolutely out of this game. I was at least trying to defend and hopefully counterattack to have some sort of a revenge, but just 3v1, that was just too much for me this time. And probably if I would know that submarines can't shoot from cities, maybe I could prepare a little bit better defense, but I didn't. So basically I overestimated a lot of things, and that caused me to lose this game basically. So let's make a story short. I was finally able, well, I lost Knossos, but I was finally able to push them back from Knossos. DJ, after taking my city, made peace with me. He probably misjudged the overall geopolitical situation. So I was able to push them back. Moreover, I was able to take out Gen from NQ Fearless and take away his capital. And I was really hoping that I can at least take revenge on Twinsen, but sadly he catch up on science. and he surprised me. Well, he caught me out of position with a lot of destroyers, basically. So now I had to retreat, and basically it was generally over. I didn't have a chance to actually try and counter anymore, because as I was afraid, Shumi got to XCOM and Stealth Bombers, and even DJ's desperate attack did not slow him a bit. So basically DJ lost his capital, I was losing my capital very soon, so we all decided to concede to Shumi. Now well, basically I thought about my mistakes earlier on, but one thing I want to mention, I have to agree with Tommy and T that this approach is really, really good if you only have space to expand. As I said before, probably in my previous game, I did a lot of testing versus Tommy and T, and his approach really seems optimal. Basically, it seems optimal if you only have the space to plant cities, liberty into tradition, monarchy at least, into rationalism, into order, factory science. It's just the way to go. It really shines in the late game, if you can of course get there. But if you do not have the space, then 3, 4, 5 city tradition into freedom is much better. But those two approaches are very closely tied in my opinion, and I actually am very happy that I was able to show you a game with a little bit different approach that in my opinion is pretty good. If I would invest a little bit more into defense, maybe I could pull something else from this game. And of course, if my diplomacy wasn't that bad in this game, basically whenever there's Twinsen, it's kind of like I have to take him out early on, because he will definitely try to make an alliance against me somehow. So basically that 3v1 was just too much. Well, even 2v1 would be too much for me to handle. And hopefully next time I will manage to pull a little bit more favorable diplomacy situation for myself. So one more time, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video was pretty informative for you, and I invite you to watch the actual game that starts in the second position of the playlist. So one more time, thank you very much everybody for the game, thank you for watching, and best wishes. Yoruus out.